This is the show where we talk about the people, the businesses, and the stories that make life in the Black Hills what it is today. Today's guest is someone I've been really excited to sit down with. She was born and raised right here in Belle Fourche. She left to learn and grow and then came back home to build something truly special. She is the owner of Elizabeth Ann's Bridal, a brand new bridal shop in downtown Belle Fourche, and her story is rooted in family, legacy, and a whole lot of courage. We're talking about growing up here, what it feels like to come back home, and the fear that comes with opening a brick and mortar business in a really small town, and what she hopes every bride feels when they walk through her doors. So, whether you're a bride to be, a small town dreamer, or someone who just loves seeing local people win, you're going to love this conversation. So, let's get into it. All right, today we are joined by Hannah Wolf, who's the owner of Elizabeth Ann's Bridal right here in Belle Fourche, South Dakota. So, today we're going to get to know a little bit more about her and why she chose to open a bridal shop in Belle Fourche. So, to get started, for anyone who hasn't met you yet, tell us who you are and what you do.
Yes, I am Hannah Wolf, and I was born and raised in Belle Fourche, and I recently moved back this spring. So I've been back for a couple months, and I owned the bridal store downtown.
I love that. I love that. I was so excited when I heard that that was coming. I was like, finally, something cool and new
yes,
to Belle Fourche.
yes.
All right. So you were born and raised right here in Belle Fourche. So what was it like growing up here, and how do you think that shaped who you are today?
It was, it was just felt so safe and cozy growing up here. I don't know how to explain it. Like those videos that have been circulating where it's all nostalgic stuff. That's exactly how it felt growing up here. I think it was just playing outside with your neighbors and going to the library and going to the pool, and it just felt so, I don't know, it just felt so nostalgic thinking back about it. um and so I think coming home, I just wanted to almost relive that. It's one of those cities, one of those towns that doesn't change very much. It changes, but it still stays the exact same. I remember every time I came home to visit, it would be the same houses and the same people, and stuff kind of changed a little bit, but it just felt so familiar. And I
Right.
think that was a big thing that pulled me back here. Is it just felt like nothing else had changed. The world could be crazy and everything else could be crazy, but when you come back to Belle Fourche, it's just the same. It's just all home.
I can completely relate to that because I know our family moved away for several times and we kept coming back. And
Yes, yeah,
just like you said, it's almost like those reels that you see on Instagram or whatever. And it's like the 90s babies that are, or the
yes,
90s kids that are
yes,
running around and stuff like that. And like, I have three kids that two are in middle school, one's in kindergarten, and they still run around
yeah,
like 90s babies. And I'm just
exactly.
like, this is how I want to raise my kids.
Yep,
Like, I absolutely love it here. So I'm
I
glad to hear that
agree.
we agree
Yes.
on that. All right, so your family has deep roots here. So can you share a little bit about your family's history in Belle Fourche and what that legacy means to you?
Yes. So my mom's family, her grandpa was actually a sheep shearer here back, way back when. So he kind of established the roots, and then my dad's side of the family moved from Bismarck, and I think the late '80s, maybe early '90s. And then they kind of established their home here, and my parents knew each other growing up, and um, so yeah, it's always just been home for both sides of my family, which has been so cool. All my cousins are here, all my aunts and uncles are here, my grandparents are here, so it's just so cool getting to continue on that legacy, I think, and then start my family here, and my cousins are starting their family here, and my siblings are starting their families here. So it's just so cool to see it kind of come full circle.
Right? I know I
Yeah,
see your family all over town.
all over. There's so many of them.
Yeah. Oh, I see them often down at the soccer fields too.
Yes. Yep. Yep.
And we joke around that we should just get a trailer and just move down there for the season
Might as
instead
well.
of
Yeah, they're there
going
all the
back and
time. Then
forth.
they're at the rec center for basketball and volleyball, and yeah, they're all
Gotta love
over.
those small town
I
relationships where
love
you
it.
run into people all the time that you know, and it's,
Everywhere.
yep,
Yes.
exactly. All right, so Elizabeth Ann's Bridal is named after your grandmother. Tell us a little
Yes.
bit about her and why it felt important to honor her in this way.
Yes. So growing up, ever since I can remember, she's kind of been my best friend, my shopping buddy. Her and I always bonded. We would have like Sunday shopping trips where we'd go to Rapid, and um, just always kind of bonded over everything. That we'd have fashion shows and dress up, and I'd play in her store with all her old vintage clothing. And she was just a huge inspiration and kind of letting me know that that's an okay career path to take. Because I feel like it's a very different career path to take when you grew up in the Black Hills and in the Midwest. So when I kind of ran it past what I wanted to pursue a career in fashion, she was gung ho. She's like, "You do it. You've got this." So I think it just felt right naming the bridal store after her, and especially in her building and her legacy that she's created there. I think it was the perfect way to honor her.
That's awesome. For those who are tuning in today who probably don't know your grandmother, can you tell
Yes.
us a little bit about what she does and what she has down there?
Yeah, so she owns Love That Shop Antiques. So she's been there for a little over 30 years now. And she just has a huge antique store with furniture and anything and everything you could possibly imagine. So she's been here my whole life and been um, a huge part of the downtown community. So
I know.
yeah.
I love that because I remember going in there as a little girl as well.
Yes.
And it's funny because my mother-in-law is really into antiques too,
Okay.
and she's always like, "Oh, we have to go to Belle Fourche to check out those
Yes.
antique shops." And
Yes.
that was one of the first ones we took her into. So I absolutely love that,
It's
and I
so
love the
fun.
history.
I do too.
And it's great that she was able to work around that and make
Yes.
space for you so that we can have something new and fresh and then old and vintage. And I love
Exactly.
that. It's just like on a wedding day.
I love it. Yeah.
All right. So, what is something about Belle Fourche that outsiders don't always understand, but the locals know it in their bones?
I think how well the community takes care of each other. I think it's common in small towns. People are like, everyone's so close knit. The community helps each other. But I think in Belle Fourche, it really is. If you need somebody, we'll be there for you. If you need help hauling furniture, somebody's always there to help. If you have a flat tire on the side of the road, somebody's going to be there to help. I think the way we just take care of each other and show up for each other is huge.
Absolutely. I completely understand. I actually just had a client. It's funny that you bring that up because they just moved away from Belle Fourche for a job opportunity. And they ended up getting stranded on the side of the road with a flat tire. And they were like, "What?" Like, nobody even stopped to help us. It was her and her daughter that were like stuck on the side of the road. And I was like, that breaks my heart because I'm like, that's not what would happen around here.
You would have
you
a
know?
line of people waiting to help you.
Even with modern day with cell phones, it's funny because people will still pull up and be like, "Are you okay? Can I help you with anything?"
Yep.
And you know, in the big cities, like you would never see people stop for that.
No,
So
we came from North Carolina and it would just, I mean, you just became accustomed. You're like, nope, we just drive by. Somebody's probably coming to help them or help's probably on the way. But here it's like, oh, I know that person or that's my friend's dad or my cousin's whatever. But
yeah, I'm always known as like someone's kid's mom.
Yep.
It's not my name. It's just someone's kid's mom or that realtor around
so
town.
and so. So and so this or so and so that.
I know that was funny because I didn't really notice it as much when we lived here in Belle Fourche, but then we moved to a little small town in Florida.
Okay.
And someone told me, they're like, "Be careful what you say in public because you never know who's related to who." And then as I got back to Belle Fourche again, I was like, "Huh, that's totally true." I just never really thought of it because I was always on the knew everybody side of it, not the whole like outsider. You knew
they
you're
know
like,
you.
You don't want to say anything. That's so and so's brother, or whatever.
Exactly. You never know. You're always like, who's around? Who's here?
I know, right? Gotta love that small town.
Love
charm.
it.
All right. So you spent some time away from Belle Fourche, which you kind of alluded to earlier, and you worked on fashion and bridal elsewhere. So what originally pulled you away from our area?
I think it was wanting to pursue that career. There wasn't much here for fashion business. I didn't even know what fashion business was. Right. It was kind of just a spur of the moment. I'm like, okay, how does one pursue fashion, or where do you even do that? So I ended up just Googling it one day. I think it was my senior year of high school, and found a college in London that did fashion. And I think back in that time, not that it was so long ago, but there wasn't like TikTok, Instagram, kind of, you just didn't have those resources. So when you saw fashion and you're like, oh, a big city like London or New York or Paris, sure, that must just be what you do. So that's what I did, and I'm so happy I did it. But I think it was just to get that experience and try something different. I think that's so important for everyone who comes from a small town, is to experience other towns, because you're going to come back. Everyone always said that too. They're like, you'll be back. I'm like, no, I'm going to London. I'm never ever coming back home. But it's true for a lot of people. You miss it and you come home. But I think it is really important to go get that experience, go live in the big cities, go travel around, and then you just appreciate home so much more when you come back. So
yes, as someone who's moved away 4 times, and I was a naughty kid growing up, so I was like, I'm leaving that town. I hate it. I'm never coming back. I don't want anything to do with it. Exactly. And then you leave, and you're like, you know what? Grass is not always greener on the other side. Yep. Grass is actually greener where you water it. Exactly. And then that's why when I moved back, I was like, okay, full force getting involved in the community because I was like, this is home.
Where we want to be.
Yes,
Yep.
100%.
Yep.
All right. So what did you learn while living and working outside of the Black Hills that prepared you for owning your own business here?
I think it was how a lot of it was how to communicate and I think how to make relationships with people because not that we're sheltered in the small towns, but you kind of get used to talking to the people that you know.
Yeah.
When you go to a big city, you're making friends, you're meeting new people, you know nobody out there, so you're making those connections, and I think that helped a lot. Was just kind of getting out of that bubble that I had. Is I'm like, okay, I don't know anybody here, so I've got to be personable somehow. I've got to meet people somehow. Um, so I think that was really big, and just getting a look on the industry on a wider scale. I wouldn't say South Dakota is necessarily a fashion hub in the United States. So I think just getting a perspective of what the fashion industry looks like overseas and over America and all over the US. And I think just getting that industry perspective really helped coming back. And it's like, okay, how can we implement some of the big city things into our little tiny town?
Yes,
Just
I
kind of
love
bringing
that.
little pieces in from outside. So yeah.
I don't know about you, of course, born and raised here as well, but I was like, oh my gosh, it's such a blessing to see something besides another Western store
Yes.
because I feel like that's about all you can buy in
Exactly.
town unless you go
Yep.
out to Family Dollar and get a sweatshirt.
Exactly. Yep. Yep.
So yeah, it was nice to see something new and fresh here.
Yeah. And I think too, not having to shop, going to Rapid has stores, but I think a lot of people even go to Colorado to shop or Sioux Falls to shop. So it's like, how can we start bringing some of that stuff local?
Yeah,
Keep
100%.
keep people here. But
Yeah, especially to keep those tax revenues in South Dakota.
yes,
You know,
exactly.
I know like we talk about encompassing the Black Hills, as being Belle Fourche, Spearfish, Sturgis, all these amazing little towns that we have.
Mhm.
But I think you hit the nail right on the head when you said people are starting to go to Denver. They're starting to go to these other
Yes.
places. And it's nice that we are starting to get more things here that will actually keep people in South Dakota instead of
agree.
feeling like they have to leave.
Yep.
That's kind of how I felt about college too and job opportunities and
Yeah.
such. I said, if there's anything that we can change, it would be how to have more job opportunities in South Dakota because you can love it here and still have to leave for
Yeah.
job opportunities.
Yep.
And I would hate to see that happen to our next generation. So it's amazing that, young entrepreneurs like yourself are starting these businesses that ultimately you're going to be hiring people to work for you.
Yes.
And then you're going to be one of those people who can help that next generation if they're into fashion so that they don't have to necessarily go to
Yeah.
London. Granted, that's
Yes.
great.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. I'm sure you got a ton of experience over there. But it's also nice for those people who maybe wouldn't be able to take that avenue all the way to London
Exactly.
to still be able to have those roots here in town and be able to stay here.
Yep. And set the example that they can step out of the box as well. You don't have to be a huge, big city to start a bridal store, to start a clothing boutique that might not be Western wear. Like, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, start stepping out of the box, start trying some new stuff. The community's going to adapt. And
Yeah, I love that.
files and the stuff for the bank and just getting your business kind of prepped from the back end. Some part of it still doesn't feel real in a way. So I think when I got back home and we started doing renovations and knocking walls out, I'm like, okay, you can't go back. It's like we're ripping the flooring out, we're knocking walls down, we're pulling ceiling tiles out. I'm like, we can't go back from here. I'm like, this is what we're doing. So yeah, I think that's when it really felt 100% like, here we go. This is what we're doing.
And you had a pretty tight-lipped family.
Yes.
Because I was trying to get the tea from, I'm going to throw him right under the bus, John. I was like trying to get the tea. I'm like, John, what's going on down there? And he's like, I can't say.
I'm surprised.
I was like, there's paper up in the windows. I know something's happening.
Yeah, we weren't going to put anything in the windows at first. Then people would come by and peek in. And
small town.
Yes.
Everybody's got to know what's going on.
Exactly. And I'd be covered in paint and my hair would be all crazy. So like, okay, we got to put stuff
I'm
up
sure
in the
you
window.
still look fabulous.
Oh gosh. But I was like, we got to somehow block it off. But it was hard myself too, being like, okay, when are we going to let the cat out of the bag? When are we going to fully hard launch this? So yeah, I'm impressed my family actually kept it.
Hey, I know quite a bit of your family,
wraps.
And I was like, I know something's going on.
Like, just tell me, just give me a little.
Nobody even gave me a nugget.
That's crazy. I'm so surprised because I would assume they'd be like, okay, well, this is what's happening. happening. I'll just give
Yep.
it a little insider. But oh my gosh, that's cool.
I know. Well, you can give John a pat on the
I
back.
will. I
'Cause
will.
He was pretty tight-lipped.
That's impressive. I will have to give him kudos for that.
All right. Opening a brick and mortar business in a small town takes a lot of guts, as we've kind of talked about. So, what was the scariest part about taking this leap?
I think for me, the scariest part was, I think, my husband and I just got married in August. We were still planning a wedding. So I think it was just kind of taking the leap so young when you don't have a lot of disposable income to put into something like this. You're really putting everything. It's like, okay, we want to get married. We want to buy a house. We want to start a family. We're starting a business. So I think it was such a big project at such a busy time in our life. And I think that was the scariest part, was like, is now the right time to do it? Should we wait until we have more money? Should we wait until we XYZ? It's just, should we wait? And I think that was the hardest part, was when's the right time to do it? And I was like, we got to do it.
Right.
Let's just do it now. So I think having a lot on the line when you're in those early stages of all those life changes, I think that was kind of spooky.
I can relate to that, but I think that you're on the right track, because as someone who has been in rooms surrounded by tons of entrepreneurs, those who don't have almost all of their skin in the game don't seem to have the gumption and the energy to make it work.
Yeah.
Whereas you're
right.
like, hey, I have my entire life is on the line for this business.
Yep.
Like I mean, obviously I know you have hard work and determination in you, but it's like it gives you that extra oomph to get up in the morning and be like, okay, like I have to pay my bills. This is not a Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. There's no like guaranteed paycheck.
Yep.
There's I have to bust my butt or I make no money.
Exactly. You're 100% right. It's like we've got to be there if it's late nights or long days or 2 jobs sometimes to cover the bills. I'm like, it's your baby.
Yeah.
And like you've got to fully invest in it 100%. So I think,
absolutely. And I think you're
right
totally on target with what you're doing.
Thanks. It's a lot, but it's good.
All right. Are there any moments where you thought maybe this is a terrible idea, and what helped you push through those doubts?
When we were renovating the building again, that was
and you're covered in paint.
Yes, paint and drywall, and I think it was just such a big project, and we didn't realize how big of a project it was going to be. When you see those old buildings, you're like, they have so much character and charm, and then you start getting into the guts of them, and you're like, what? Every corner, I think you're opening a new can of worms. You're like, what is this? What do we have to fix now? So I think that was a lot. I think when we were mid renovations, moving all my grandma's stuff around, is when we were kind of like, whoa, this is a lot of work. It's a lot of stuff. But that's where my family really stepped up. Like, so we have a huge family. So I think without them, and we pulled long hours. I had cousins there. I had sisters, my sister's friends. We would have pizza parties and have people come over and paint. And it was just such a big, it truly took an army to finish that. So I think they really pulled through and they helped us get through that hurdle. Because I think without all that help, it would have been way too much. And I think that's where I would have been like, nope, too much. I can't do it anymore. Because we did a lot of the work ourselves too. So
that's amazing that you had so much support.
It was incredible. Yeah, we could not have done it without. And we not that any of us had a lot of experience either. So it's kind of like, well, I don't know how to hang drywall, but show me a video and show me how to do it and we'll figure it out. And it was a cool bonding experience too for my family, just to see all of us coming together for one common good and one project. It was cool to see.
Yeah. Those old buildings, there's definitely a lot of cans of worms, for lack of a better term. I mean, you never know what you're getting into sometimes with those old buildings. I've toured several of them down on State Street, and I'm like, oh man,
they need some love.
They need a little bit of love. So it's nice that somebody was willing to take that task on, and a whole family. They truly say it takes a village to raise kids. I think it takes a village to survive.
I agree.
Right now.
Yes. To do anything, to start a family, to start a business, to exist. I agree.
Absolutely. I think post-COVID, we've all kind of figured out that, like, it takes a village, and, like, you have to surround yourself with some of the most amazing people.
I agree.
And that's one thing I love about this town, is I feel like even if you're not related to them, there's still the village is there.
Yes.
You know?
Yes. We had so much help, and it makes it so much more special, I think, too, when I go into the door and I just look around at the store. It's like, oh, my sister painted that wall, or my uncle hung that curtain rod or put up that wall, or it's just so cool to have all those memories, I think, just tied into the roots of that building now. So every day I walk in, I just get to see every little piece that went into it. It's just so special. I think it's
Yeah.
so fun.
It's sentimental and special
Exactly.
at the same time. I love
Yes.
that. All right. So we've kind of talked about this already, but just see if there's anything to add. How did your support system, family, community, mentors play a role in getting you across the finish line? Is there anything that you'd like to add?
They were they were the rock. I think they were the whole reason that the community, my family, they are the whole reason that we have our doors open today. I think, yeah, there were so many hurdles that probably would have been the last straw for me, but I think having so many people to just keep pushing you, being like, if you need a rest day, take a rest day. If you need to do this, you go do this. Like, just you do what you need to do for your business right now, and we're going to take care of whatever you need us to. So without them, it would have been, I don't know if we'd have the doors open today. I don't know.
Now, off topic here,
Yeah.
but did you have to push back any deadlines or did you hit the deadline that you originally intended for yourself?
No. So we were supposed to open in August,
Okay.
and then that got pushed to September. And then in October, that was kind of like our final, we've got to be open by October. This is what we're doing. And so up until opening day, we were painting walls and putting light bulbs in and hanging curtains up until that last, it was like 20 minutes before our grand opening party. So
Oh my gosh. And I
yeah,
bet you
it
slept
was
like a rock after your grand opening.
that night I was a little frazzled. I was like, what just happened? But yeah, that week after I was like, okay, it's done. It's deep breath. So yeah,
But you did it.
we did it. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. All right. Tell us about the space itself and how the shop came together. So we kind of alluded to this a little bit, but your grandmother had the entire space as an antique shop.
Yes.
So you guys had to not only renovate, but you had to help her get her stuff out, right? Can
We
you tell
did.
us a little bit about that? Were there some
Yes.
emotions? Because your grandmother's been there for 100 years.
Yes.
At least it was coming to her granddaughter, but I'm sure
Yes.
there was still a lot of emotions tied into that. And I like people to think that there are emotional ties to buildings and homes
Yep.
and things like that. Being on the real estate side of things, people are always like, "Oh, it's just a house." It's like, no,
No.
no. I have sat through so many tears of
Yes.
this is where we brought our babies home, and we're just not sure if we
Yes.
want to leave it. And I don't think that there's any difference when you turn into a retail location to
Yes.
someone who's put their blood, sweat, and tears into something. So, can you elaborate on that a little bit with Grandma?
Yeah, you're exactly right. I think it was so bittersweet, especially since that was a building that I grew up in. I think having to change it and you be the one to change it was hard. Um, it's been like that, like I said, my whole life. So having to pick stuff up and move it and change it, I'm like, okay, every day I walk in here, it's going to be different. And oh, it does make me a little emotional. Like you said, it was just such a special building that I think changing it was so hard, but it was for the perfect reason. Um, and it was just a building that I couldn't let go. I think in a way too. I was like, I have to find some way to hold on to it because it's such a special location. Like you say, people look at it and they're like, oh, it's crumbling, it's falling apart, it's 200 years old, it's a piece of junk. It's like, no, it has so much more than just those walls and bricks and
If walls could talk,
yes,
it would tell the most beautiful story of your family and so
1,000%.
many stories that went through there.
Yes. So it was just such a special location, and to get to do that was it was so cool, and to make it personal, I think, was so special, and to have her opinion too, like what colors should we put in here, what kind of aesthetic should we go for, and I think that was such a fun project to get to do with her, was to create that space together instead of just taking it from her in a way, being like, hey, this is mine, that's your side, this is my side. It was more of what should we do with this space.
I
So-
love that. And I bet that really helped her heart just stay rooted
Yes.
in,
Yes.
wanting to grow, but yet let go at the same time.
Yes. Yep.
Because, she's not going to want to run that antique store for forever. And I bet you
Exactly.
to her, it was such a beautiful blessing that her own granddaughter
Yeah.
wanted to help revitalize that space and turn it into
Yep.
something new and fresh. So I can
was so
see
cool.
the roller coaster of emotions. I
It
can
was
just
a lot.
imagine.
It was so much, and it was hard for her to see that change too when your store's been a certain way, and there was so much stuff in there. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it was full. There was so much stuff in there. So I think watching her see it all being packed up and put away and moved around was hard too, because when you walk into a space every day for 30 something years, and then you walk in one day and it's all changed, it's like, what what's going on? What am I going to do? But it was just navigating, like you said, those highs and lows and taking it day by day. And eventually we got to a day where all the boxes had found a home, and then it was easier from then on. But
Yeah.
yeah,
And it looks beautiful. I have
thank you.
yet to be able to go in there,
I'm so
but I
excited.
can't wait to see it. And I want to come in and take some pictures and videos too,
Yes.
so that we can put those up on our video here. So
Yay.
I'm
Yes.
excited for that. Okay, what makes Elizabeth Ann's Bridal different from other bridal shops someone might visit?
I would say the space, the service, and the story are three things that I like to focus on. I think the space is just so personalized and it's custom, and I wanted it to feel warm and cozy. I don't want it to feel like you're going into a typical brick and mortar store, a David's Bridal, or I want you to feel like you're coming into a different experience. So really creating a space that was different, and then the service. I mean, for me, it doesn't even feel. My grandpa said, if you love your job, it doesn't feel like you're working a day in your life, or you don't work a day in your life. And so I think for me, I just love my job so much. It never feels like I'm going to work. It never feels like I have to put on a service cap. And I think for me, at least, I should never have to sell a dress to somebody. The dresses sell themselves at the end of the day.
Right.
So I think getting that level of personalized service, I want it to feel like you're shopping with your best friend or your sister, somebody you just feel so comfortable with. And then the story behind our whole store, I think, is just so special and so different. And it just makes it so much more of an experience. So I just hope our brides can feel the same way about it that I do.
I was going to say that really does say a lot because anyone can order a dress. You can
Yes.
pretty much order a dress online and have it
100%.
2-day delivered anymore.
Yep.
And it's like, so people now, when they're shopping for their dresses, they are shopping for that experience. And there is just so much love that's been in that building and in those walls that, like, they say that stuff tastes better when grandma bakes it.
Yes.
It's because grandma bakes with love. And it's the same thing. Like, that dress is going to feel so much more special for your brides because that love was put behind it. It wasn't just someone coming in making, $20 an hour to sell a bridal dress to you at some corporate store.
Yep.
There really is family and love and values behind that. So
100%.
I can appreciate that. What kind of experience do you want brides to feel the moment they walk through your door?
I think just that comforting feeling. I know that dress shopping can be so stressful and it can be super intimidating. It can almost be scary to some brides. It's a lot. It's a big decision you're making. So I want them just to walk into those doors and just kind of be a sigh of relief. Like, okay, it's warm, it's comforting, it's happy, it's quiet, it feels peaceful in here. I just want them to feel welcome and comfortable, I think is the biggest thing. Just kind of take that weight off their shoulders and just to have a good time. It is such a special appointment and such a special moment in their bridal journey that it should be the best that it can be on that day for them.
Absolutely. Now, I'm just curious. This was not in our list of questions, but
let's hear it.
I watched Bridezilla for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
And more so than the Bridezilla, because I mean, you're always going to have those people that are just a little bit harder to please than others.
Yep.
But how would you handle a situation if the bride loved the dress, but the mother or mother-in-law hated it?
Oh, that happens.
I'm sure it does.
It happens a lot. I think at the end of the day, you have to stay true to what you want. You're the one putting it on your body. Mm-hmm. You're the one whose pictures these are going to be hanging up in your house and you have to look at every day. It's not going to be in their house. It's not going to be in their photo albums. It's not going to be on their Facebook pages. So I think at the end of the day, it's just staying true to yourself, and they're going to think you are the most beautiful bride regardless on your wedding day. I have 100%. Yet to hear of a mother or grandmother or mother-in-law when the bride walks out on her wedding day that was like, wrong dress. You look terrible.
Fair.
You picked wrong. I have never heard of that, and I think they come around to the idea, and so I think just staying true to what you want, to what you feel best in, and I think that also goes into brides usually find one that's completely opposite of what they thought they wanted, and I think just letting yourself be okay with that too, and not saying, oh, I had this picture in my head, I have to get the dress, that's all over my Pinterest boards. That's the one I always envision myself wearing, but I feel like a bride in this one. I think just letting yourself have those emotions, have those feelings, and you'll know.
I love that. That's probably the best answer that you could have given, because I was just curious about it as we were kind of talking. I'm like, like I have great in-laws and my mother was great. It was
Yeah.
super easy for me, but I've heard
Yes.
horror stories from friends about like their mother-in-law coming in and being like, "You
Yes.
look like a in that dress." And it's like, "Oh my
Some of
gosh,
the
like
stuff
how
they
could you
say.
even do that?" Like I guess it makes me appreciate that I
Yes.
have a fabulous in-law.
That could be a whole podcast on its own, is like bridal appointment commentary.
We might have to bring you
I would
back
love
for that after like 6 months or a year and
I
be
love
like,
it.
"Okay, tell me your favorite stories."
Yep. Because some of those comments, I mean, they're just, it's crazy. Yeah, some of the stuff you hear, I'm like, how do you even think of that? Or it's crazy.
I suppose
It's
in
wild.
in your field, it's like what the mother or the mother of or the mother-in-law says, whereas
Yes.
like us, it's the dad on the inspection report.
Yes. You're like, what? How did you even come up with that?
Yeah. I know you bought a house 37 years ago, but it's a little different today.
Times change. Stuff changes. I hate to say that. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but
Right?
life kept going.
Yep, and we just have to pivot and roll.
Exactly. Yes.
All right. How did it feel opening your doors and seeing the support from the Belle Fourche community?
It was such a pinch me moment. I think it was just, it almost felt like a fever dream in a way. I think I was just so flooded with like happiness and gratitude, and it was just like floating on a cloud. I think that whole night was, the whole journey so far has just been incredible, with the amount of support and happiness and excitement, and it just gives you more of like, okay, this could work. This could be something, instead of people just tearing you down. And I don't think a business could make it if you don't have the community support behind you. So
Absolutely.
it has been just wonderful.
And that, I mean, that is one thing about small towns that, I have no problem with calling out the negative.
Yeah.
Sometimes. But I will say that is sometimes the thing of small towns is when you're bringing in something new, those who do not like change are the first to voice that all over the place. And I have to say, I'm very active online. I have not seen one negative commentary about the bridal shop.
Good. Oh, that makes me so happy.
So yeah, no, that is fabulous, because I know another business that started in town, they took over an old space, and boy, oh boy, did you hear the negativity. So I was like, I was kind of waiting, and I was like, maybe that's why they don't want to tell anyone what's coming until it's like there and in your face. But
and you do have to gear up for that, because I did think about that. I'm like, people love the antique store, and we have had customers come in and be like, oh, it's only half a store now, or you had so much more, blah blah blah. So we've had repeat customers say that, but then at the end of the day, they just love seeing the newness and seeing the change. And she's reorganized her half, but yeah, I was gearing up for you're changing a building that's been here forever comments. And so I definitely had to prepare for that, but so far
haven't had to use any of those rebuttals.
I haven't. Nope.
That's good. So what does it mean to you to be a small business owner in a town where people genuinely show up for each other?
Okay, repeat the question more time.
What does it mean to you to be a small business owner in a town where people genuinely show up for each other?
I think it means the world. I don't think would be here if it wasn't for their community support. And like you said, if they would have tore us down right away, it's like, okay, lock the doors. This isn't going to work. Let's move on. And I think also having the support from other small businesses in the area and in town have been a huge help, more than I would have ever thought. Because you never think, when you open a business that's different from everybody else, it's like, how could we possibly work together? How could your business help my business? How
Western
could we
word of bridal.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm like, how can we make this work? But the way that all the small businesses come together and truly help each other, like, what events can we do to include you? How can we promote you? How can we help you succeed? Has just been incredible. And it's just so exciting to get to then plan these events. And we all have one common goal at the end of the day. It's to bring people to the area and to show up for our community. And just having that common goal, I think, is huge. And have people who also want to reach that goal.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned events. Do you have plans to do events down at the Bridal Boutique over the next year? Hopefully. Or is it just, oh my gosh, let's get settled first?
Right now, I think it's let's just get our feet on the ground and get a feel for how it's going. And I know during the spring too, that'll hopefully be our busy season. But I definitely want to host events. We've talked about maybe doing some tea parties or fashion shows or it's just such a cool space, and like you said, so much love and time went into it that it would be a shame to not be enjoyed by the community.
Yeah.
Even though it is a bridal store, I want it to be enjoyed by everyone, not just brides and their families. So I think finding events that we can do in the shop would be great. But yeah, it's just figuring out what to do and how to do it and when to do it.
And that's one thing I do love about all of the businesses downtown for the most part is you guys all do collaborate and you try to
Yes.
work together. And now my squirrel brain just went off and I'm like, I want to see a like speed, what would you call it? Like a speed fashion show. So have
cool.
this store do one at 5 o'clock. This one starts at
Ooh.
5:30. This one starts at 6. This one starts at 7. And then, of course, we've got bars and restaurants down there, so we could have drinks in between.
I love. Wow,
you're onto something. We need to have coffee.
You're onto something.
Yep. Sorry, squirrel brain. I love it. Welcome to my life. All right. So for brides listening, how can they book an appointment with you, and what should they expect when they come in?
Yeah, so there's a few ways you can book an appointment. You can call our store directly. You can visit our website, our Facebook page. I've gotten just some direct emails about how to book an appointment. I'm happy to book them straight over the email. Any way that you can get a hold of us, we will find a way to get that appointment booked for you. And then when they come in, I think there's so many things I'm like you could do to prep and prepare. I think that's a big thing right now, at least when I worked in bridal before, is that you would have all these to-do lists for the bride before their appointment. And I think sometimes that can get overwhelming.
Yeah.
Especially when you're planning a wedding. It's like, okay, now before I come shopping, I have to do this and this and this and this. And I say just honestly come in with an open mind and come in with your most supportive group of people and the people that you need there to say yes. Whether you know what kind of dress you want or whether this is your first time trying on, none of that matters. Because like I said, you're probably going to change your mind anyways.
Right.
So I say just come with an open mind and a supportive group and we'll take good care of you.
I love
so
that.
Just throw all the stress out the window. Save that for weddings have enough stress with them. So
exactly.
Wedding dress shopping should not be stressful at all.
I agree. Is there anything exciting coming that you want people to know about?
So some of the events next year, hopefully we'll host some events. Hopefully get some more lines of gowns in, some different designers. Trying to think what else. That first year is just so many exciting things could happen next year. I don't even know yet.
And I suppose you'll have to listen to your clients and find out what they want, what they need, so that way you can kind of pivot and, cater your business to the local clientele and what they're looking for as well.
Exactly.
So I love that. About how many dresses do you have down at the store?
I have about 40 dresses right now.
Okay, so that's a lot for people to shop from.
Small but mighty collection, I say.
Yeah, I love it.
You don't need all the options in the world, so.
And do you kind of have like a variety of price points for people?
Yep, so they started around $1,900 and go up to $3,000, but that can all change with veils and different straps and embellishments and details. But I say that's a good ballpark for what we have.
Nice, so you can personalize it pretty much.
Yep,
I love that.
They come in different colors now, which is crazy. I'm like, if you want a pink dress, you can have a pink dress. If you want a blue dress, let's do a blue dress.
I know. I wanted a black dress so bad because my whole vibe is just like dark and moody. And if you come to my house, like all of our walls are like the darkest, almost black, not quite black, but almost black. Yeah. And I wanted to get married in a black dress. And then I of course, chickened out because I was like, everybody's going to think I'm gothic or this or that. And I'm like, I'm afraid I'm going to spill my drink down the front of my shirt. And guess what? Black hides it.
Yeah, you wouldn't see anything in black. You wouldn't see the dirt stains, the grass stains, the drink stains. That's so fun.
Exactly. And do you partner with any of the local wedding venues or anything like that?
We haven't done any partnerships yet. Hopefully next year we'll kind of collaborate more a little bit. But I have all their contact information. They are all so wonderful. I've talked to some catering people, some wedding planners, and everyone in the wedding industry, I think especially in this area, is just so helpful and so understanding. I think, again, when you get into those big cities, to them it's just another wedding.
Absolutely.
They don't know who you are. It's another wedding. It's another paycheck. And I think in this area, you probably know the bride. Or you know the bride's family or the groom's family. And so I think it's just so much more of a connection that you make in the wedding industry here. And everyone is just so, what can we help you with? How can we get your vision to play out how you hope? And I think that's so cool just to see that come together.
And I'm circling back a little bit here because we've kind of gone into that.
Yeah.
And I keep thinking about how the barn at Aspen Acres started because they couldn't find a venue
Exactly.
that they loved. So they said,
Yep.
hey, let's build it.
Yeah.
Did that happen to you when you were shopping for your dress at another location? Did anything happen that you're like, I feel like there's a better way? Or was it more just, I want to bring this experience back home?
I think it was more of that. I wore my grandma's dress actually, so I didn't go dress shopping. Yes. So that was so special. But I think it was just seeing that we didn't have much in the area. I've had a lot of friends get married, a lot of classmates get married, and I'm like, where are they going? I'm like, they should have more than one option. You shouldn't be forced to buy from one store if you're not finding your perfect dress at that store just because that's what's available. So I'm like, where's the option and the experience and just that personalized shopping experience? And so yeah, I'm like, if we need it, I'm like, why don't I do it? If anybody's got to do it, I'll do it. I'll try it. Let's
you
see.
Got the experience. You went to London.
Yeah,
like how
might as
fabulous.
Well.
Tell me a little bit about that. So we've got a little bit more time before we start into the rapid fire questions. How was it living in London? I've always wondered what it's like to live abroad.
I loved it. It's just like the movies. It was hard. I went there when I was 18, so I think that part was a little bit more tricky because you thought it was going to be like the movies.
It's not a small town girl going to a big city. It's a small town girl going to a whole different country.
Yes, I'd never traveled abroad. I had two other classmates who were going to school in New York, so we were all kind of in it together, which was cool, but it was just such an amazing experience. Like I said, you were forced to kind of learn and grow up, but also getting to experience. I mean, you can go to Paris for like $50, or you could go to Greece on a weekend trip. So I think just getting to experience those things was incredible, and the people you meet, and it was amazing. I would do it 10 times over if I could.
Gosh, we're gonna have to get together so I can hear even more about that because I love knowing what it's like going other places. Yeah. Like I'm still rooted and I still keep coming home, but I love to go experience those other places and be like, what can I take from here and bring back to our community?
Exactly.
So I love to see when people leave for a while and then come back and they're like, okay, our community's great, but we could do a minor tweak because like what I try to tell people is and this is, of course, my personal opinion, and I probably shouldn't even say this as a realtor, but I'm like, I don't want us to grow so big that we forget our roots. I want us to grow with grace.
I love that.
I want us to grow and just keep those community values, but yet grow enough so that people don't have to go to Denver or people don't have to leave here for a job opportunity or anything like that. So that's why I always call it growing with grace. So that way we can keep our small
keep our home.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, I love it.
All right. Do you have anything that you want to add before we go to the rapid fire questions?
I don't think so.
Okay. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. Favorite place to eat in the Black Hills?
The China Garden that just reopened. Has to be one of my favorite places ever. I was so excited when they opened up again. I just love it.
There was a little bit of drama on that going up and down, but they're back.
There could also be a whole episode on small town drama because people would be amused by what drama is in a small town.
I know, believe it or not, I have clients that will call me and be like, about that Facebook group. And I'm like, just ignore it.
Not today.
Not today, Satan. Not today.
I love it.
All right, favorite coffee spot?
Wild Magnolia.
Twins. Love it. Best hidden gem most tourists miss?
My grandma's antique shop.
I love that.
A lot of people just drive down the road. I'm like, no, stop. Right? She's got a lot of stuff that you probably didn't know you even needed.
Exactly. Favorite Black Hills season?
Summer.
I love that. What do you do in the summer?
I love the 4th of July here. That'll be, I think.
Oh, yeah.
We'll circle around to that one. I love going up to the lakes. I love going for hikes. I just love
the outdoorsy lifestyle.
Yeah. I don't love the storms. Those aren't my favorite.
Fair.
I didn't miss the storms coming back this summer, but I just love summertime here.
And it's funny growing up here and seeing like what the storms are like. And then we're like, I mean, we went down to Florida in a hurricane and I was like, it's like Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a hurricane in North Carolina. I'm like, oh, okay. Like this is, and then we come here and have a massive storm with hail and tornadoes and wind. I'm like, oh.
I know, right?
I hate this.
Okay, one place that feels like home.
Iron Creek Lake.
Oh, I love it.
I love that
So
place.
many memories there growing up. Favorite local business that you like to support?
Oh, say, I don't know if this would count as like a small business. I love the rec center and the library. I lifeguarded at the rec center for a long time, so I think that just has a special place in my heart. And they do so many activities there, and I love the rec center, and the library is also so special. But I have loved the Pearson Block addition to downtown. The candy shop has been
cute.
so cute, and my nephew loves it. My sister loves going there, so that has just been such a cute little addition to our town. I think I love it.
Yes, it's my goal to get them on the podcast as well.
They're so fun.
That was such a fun little addition that I was never expecting in Belle Fourche.
Me either. And they did such a beautiful job with it.
Yes. And again, another very sweet family.
So sweet.
Okay, go-to spot to clear your head.
Probably the canyon.
Okay, yep. I think that's true for everybody.
A lot of people.
I don't know if a lot of people realize this coming from out of state, but there's not a lot of cell phone service in the canyon.
Nope.
And so even like in my career, I mean, I feel like I'm a 24/7 job.
Yes.
Like I am constantly getting phone calls and stuff like that, which is great. That means business is good. But at the same time, there comes a time when you do need to reset. And I can sense this in you too. You're kind of a workaholic, it sounds like. And sometimes you just need to go and decompress.
Unplug.
And my husband was the smartest man. Like he knew I was super stressed out at work. And finally he's like, you know what? Let's just go for a drive. Took me straight to where there was no cell phone service for
Brilliant.
the day. Like, you did that on
Props for him. That's amazing.
Right. It's a good thing to have a man.
He's
who
like,
knows
you can't
exactly.
even check your phone if you wanted to.
Yes.
We're cutting you off.
And then you know when you're coming out of the canyon because it goes ding ding ding. It's like getting
gosh.
off the airplane. Mode.
Yes. You're like, oh, let's just go back in. Just
Yeah.
circle back. I'm not ready yet.
I love that. Favorite event or tradition in the area?
4th of July, by far.
Tell me about it, because a lot of people who probably are listening to this podcast have no idea how special the 4th of July in Belle Fourche is.
You have to come for a Belle Fourche 4th of July. It's like a Hallmark movie on steroids. There's just so much going on for that whole week. We have the carnival, and we have the rodeo, and we have the parade, and the fireworks show, and there's popcorn stands and hot dog stands, and there's just a energy, I think, around this town during the 4th of July. It buzzes. It's just so alive and busy, and it's just amazing.
Yes.
So everyone should come and check it out.
I know.
It
seems like my husband's family always wants to do family reunions over the 4th of July, and I was like, no, we're not leaving.
No.
Like, our town does the 4th of July.
This is the 4th of July.
Okay? So, like, if you guys want a family reunion, y'all better come this way.
Yes.
Because I'm not leaving.
Yep. And then you can go up to Keystone, and there's Mount Rushmore. It's just so patriotic. I feel like it's the best place to be for the 4th.
Yeah. Now, outside of the 4th, you're going to have to answer this question.
Okay.
What is your favorite event or tradition in the area outside of the 4th?
I love the Christmas tree lighting and parade. I don't know when that started. I think I remember it probably when I was in middle school or high school. It might have been before then. But I, again, think it just feels like a Hallmark movie. I think this year we had snow on during the Parade of Lights, so it was just snowing, and you had the tree lighting, and the pictures with Santa, and hot chocolate, and chili feed, and it's just another night that I think feels so special and warm and cozy, and one that I missed when I came back. I'm like, okay, when's the Parade of Lights? I need to mark that on my calendar, and yeah.
And that event is going to be growing next year. So
I hope so.
Yeah, because I'm on one of the committees at the chamber, and we're trying to figure out how we can make that even bigger and grander than it was this past year and the year before that. So
I'm excited.
Yep, now you have to tune in next year for sure.
Oh, I can't wait.
All right, on your day off, do you spend time in Belle Fourche or Spearfish more?
I think a mixture of both. I usually start off in Belle. I'll go get a coffee, and then usually make my way to Spearfish for some of the thrift stores. I love thrifting.
Yeah.
So I go thrifting in
that.
Spearfish, and then run to Walmart and run errands. So I think it's definitely a mix of both.
Yeah.
Sure,
I can completely see that. When people call and they're like, which town should I live in, Belle Fourche or Spearfish? I'm like, believe it or not, they are vastly different.
Yeah.
They both are amazing in their own ways.
Yep.
And they're 10 minutes apart. So really, what does it matter?
You can't go wrong.
You just
either
pick
way.
one, and then the next one's just literally 10 minutes away.
Exactly.
I think the other day we went to Spearfish 4 times. And and people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you go to another town that many times a day. And I'm like, when we lived in a big city, it took me probably an hour and a half to get to the other end of town.
Exactly.
Here it's 10 minutes to get to the next town. And by all rights, if nobody has ever taken the drive from Belle Fourche to Spearfish, it's a beautiful drive.
Super easy, pretty drive. Super quick. You're there in and out before you even know it.
And I often do my stories in the car while I'm driving, and I can't tell you how much flack I get sometimes that someone's like, "Oh my God, you're gonna get into a car accident." One time I flipped my camera around and I was literally the only person on the road. And I was like, honey, the only thing that could possibly come out at me is maybe a
Cow.
deer. Like, I don't even know if a cow would come across that highway.
I
Like,
don't even know if I've seen maybe a tractor pulled on the side of the road.
yeah.
Maybe. But
Now,
there's
I'm a bit older than you,
okay.
but do you remember driving to Spearfish when there was only one lane going there and back?
I don't.
Now that was sketchy.
That
But
would be kind of.
now
I was going to
I'm
say
like,
that would be
beautiful drive,
easy
chill,
peasy.
relaxed. You
Yes.
can easily pass people. You don't have to worry about getting hit head on. So,
Mm,
yeah, when I
yes.
was younger and driving to Spearfish, when it was just the one lane going each direction, that was a little bit scary. But
Oh,
now I absolutely love the drive back and
that
forth.
was one of the biggest things I miss. I think if you live in a big city, you can relate to this. But the traffic when you come home, it's like, where is everybody? What do you mean I can go here and find a parking spot, or I don't have to pay for parking anymore, or it's just the traffic is crazy. When you
Yes.
move to a town, there's no traffic. The traffic is when you're at a stoplight and there's 3 cars in front of you, and you're like, "What is it? Rush hour? Like, where's everybody coming from?"
I know it was so funny because my husband and I were just talking about that the other day. They're like, "Oh my gosh, the traffic's getting so bad here." And then we went to Sioux Falls, which is where I went to
Yeah.
college at first. And that's where I met my husband. And we just went down there for indoor soccer and the traffic. And then I looked at the GPS and I was like, I was supposed to meet my broker and I was like, okay, it's 5 miles. It's cool, 5 minutes. Took me 15 minutes to get down there.
Yes.
And then it took me another 15 minutes to circle around and try to find a parking spot.
Yep.
By the time I got in to get my coffee, I was already like so stressed out and annoyed that I was like,
you don't even
I'm like, how do people live like this? And this is Sioux Falls, and I'm sorry, but Sioux Falls is not what I would call by rights a big city. What is
No.
it, like 275
Maybe.
max? I mean, it is the biggest city in South Dakota, but
even yeah.
you know, when you're comparing it to like Chicago or Denver
Gosh.
or Jacksonville or New York or something like that, it's like this is like a suburb.
Tiny town. Teeny tiny
And
town.
even for us, we're like, oh my gosh, it's so much.
It's so busy. It's so crazy.
But I will say it's nice to go and visit and check out the shopping and things to
Yes.
do and check out new restaurants. And like I said, bring those
Yep.
ideas back.
Yep.
But it's like on a day to day, I think
know.
there's something to be said about these small towns where I have to say, like, my stress and my anxiety is like a tenth of what it is when you
I
go
was
to a
just gonna
big
say that.
city.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think just your quality of life and just the time you have for yourself, because you spent in North Carolina, I would drive to my corporate job and it was 20 miles, but it would take sometimes an hour and a half. You're just
Yeah.
exhausted from driving when you get there, and then you work and have to commute back, and you're just constantly trying to like catch up, and even going to events and stuff. It's then again, where am I going to find parking? Am I going to have to pay for parking? Everything just felt like a hassle.
Yeah.
I think. Then you come home to Belle Fourche, it's like, oh, I can breathe.
Yeah, and
I
that's
can
what I
just
mean about like
decompress.
driving to Spearfish. It's like it's a beautiful drive,
So
so much
pretty.
beautiful scenery.
Yes.
It's just like a relaxing drive. Whereas like when I was driving home again from a bigger city as well, it's like white knuckled, bumper to bumper traffic, and it's not a fun experience. Like
No.
I don't mind being in a car
No.
when it's chill and you can relax, but yeah, when it's like that white knuckled level 10 anxiety, you're just like, why do I keep doing
This
this?
isn't fun. You have
Yeah.
your 4 energy drinks in your cup holders and a beef stick that you've eaten all day. And,
And
you're
we
like,
wonder
okay.
why some people are on edge.
Exactly.
You know?
Oh.
All right. And one word that describes living in the Black Hills.
I would say cozy. I think just cozy. Cozy. That feels like
I love it.
like we just talked about. It's just slow and comforting and just a sigh of relief, and it's warm and it's just cozy.
Yeah.
Just a cozy place to live.
I agree. I've never thought of it as that, but as you say it, I'm like, you're spot on. It really is. It's that cozy cup of tea with a blankie on a couch.
Yes.
I love it.
People listening are probably like, "Oh, cozy in Midwest? Aren't you guys under 6 feet of snow and 200-mile-per-hour winds?" And I'm like, "Nah, it's fine."
So to go into that a little bit, because I do get that a lot, and I know that there's some locals who will sometimes, elaborate a little bit
Yep.
so that people don't want to move here. And I don't know about you, but I hate the winter.
Okay.
Despise it. 100% hate it. But I will truthfully say, winter here is just different. We're a pretty mild
Yes.
winter. When I was down in Florida spending my time down there, people would always say, "Oh, it's 50 degrees. I bet you just think that we're silly for wearing these big puffy jackets." And I'm like, "No. 50 degrees down here with all of this humidity on the water is
It feels
cold."
way colder.
And I don't think people realize that. Now, no, don't get me wrong. We have our moments here
Yeah.
where it's just bitter, uncomfortable cold,
Yep.
but it's not really that much. It's a few
No.
days here. Then again, like today, I don't even have a coat on. And I mean, this is
No.
like see-through sleeves.
I was going to say, this is way too warm for
Yeah, I
today
asked my husband
even.
when we were walking out the door, I was like, "Hey, babe, do I need a jacket today?" He's like, "Nah, it's fine." Now, I will say I got in the car and I'm like, "Babe, it's 28 degrees. I think I probably should have brought a light
Oh,
jacket."
it feels way warmer.
Yeah,
Yesterday was
it
like
did.
55 or something. It's like, I could
Yeah.
wear shorts. It's
Literally, my son's out in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy
Yes.
because while the number on the gauge looks a little scary, it's actually not as bad
No.
as I think most people would think.
No, and I think even when it does get bad, people here know how to handle the cold, which I think is a whole nother ball game. I think when you live somewhere that doesn't know how to handle the cold,
Fair.
that's terrible.
Yeah.
But here, even when it does get cold or snowy, people are out shoveling. There's snow plows. There's salt. We know how to handle the cold.
Yes.
So people
we're
can
equipped.
still, drive around. The roads get plowed, and yeah, I think it's a lot different than if it snowed or dusted in North Carolina. It was
completely
everything
shut down.
Yeah.
That's how it was in Florida.
I was like,
too,
what's
there.
going on?
And it was funny because when we were down there was just the tiniest little skiff of snow, and we're used to driving in it.
Yeah.
And so my kids were like, they canceled school, they canceled everything. My kids were like, "Mom, why can't we go do this? Because you clearly know how to drive in this." I'm like, "Oh, honey, yes, I know how to drive
But the
in this.
thousands of other people.
But everybody else who thinks they can drive in this cannot, and I don't want to
Exactly.
get hit. So we're going to stay home.
Stay home. Just have a cozy snow day in Florida.
Absolutely.
I love it.
All right. So, with the closing question, if someone listening is dreaming of opening a business someday but feels scared, what piece of advice would you give them?
I would say my whole thing, I think, going through this was nothing is that serious. Which I know there's going to be a lot of people who probably disagree with that, but at the end of the day, if you love what you're doing and you're able to sustain it and you have a healthy support system, like nothing is that serious. And I think regretting something is a lot tougher than just trying it. Because at the end of the day, either you do it and it doesn't work and you can say you tried, or you think about it for the next 50 years and you say, what if? What if I would have just done it? So I think living with regret is way harder than just doing it. Just try it.
Yeah,
It's not
absolutely.
that serious. Just do it. Go for it.
I love it. I always tell people I've never failed in my life. I've
Yeah.
learned a lot of ways not to do things and to grow and pivot, but I've never failed because there's always a lesson in everything that we do. And whether you have to pivot and move forward, you can do that.
Yeah.
But like you said, living with regret will literally eat people alive.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, I still hear my parents and my grandparents say things like, "I really wish I would have tried that."
Yes. Or I should have just done it, or I should have just gave it a shot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that has something to be said about how we're raised a little bit different in the Midwest here.
Yes.
Is a lot of our parents were always like, "Try it. If it doesn't work, at least you tried and you
Yes.
don't live a life of regret." And I think that that's also what helps give us the work ethic that we have here in the Midwest, because
1,000%.
where you moved to North Carolina, I'm sure you heard the same thing. Everybody's like, "Oh, we love people who have that Midwest work ethic." And they're like, us, we're just like, "What? Like,
Okay.
I don't even really know what you're talking about. This is just like normal Tuesday. Like, what do you mean?" And then you show up to work and you're like, "Oh, I get it. So we don't arrive 10 minutes
That is
early,
crazy. So
or we don't like."
It is so true. That is so true. I think people don't understand how. Yes, that is so true.
Yeah. Well, Hannah, do you have anything else that you want to add? That was all my questions for you today.
I don't think so. I'm just so excited. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I'm so grateful that you were able to come down here,
Thank
and I
you.
can't wait to see how many people flood into your shop. And I am so looking
Fingers
forward to those
crossed.
events that you get put together.
Yes.
Once you kind of get settled and get everything going.
Take a breath.
Yeah.
Start the new year off. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Hannah.
Thank you.
Until next time. This has been such a good conversation and such a reminder of why small towns like ours are special. It's not just the businesses, it's the people behind them. If you're a bride looking for a personalized, thoughtful, and genuinely welcoming experience, Elizabeth Ann's Bridal is absolutely worth checking out. You can book an appointment directly with her and she'll take great care of you. And if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you like, follow, and share the Black Hills Insider. That support helps local stories reach more people, and that's what this show is all about. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.